Brabby, why you taking? Oh, my picking anything. Okay, get my Brabby, bottle water, like drink. When I bottle water, I'm one of my big nights. Oh, Brabby. How can you know that you not know I put it? When you say NZ, you my alley exclusive. Love is sweet and sure I know. So I enjoy my life. Because anytime I can go. Love you and leave me, let me do me.
The other weekend, I will enjoy myself. The way they be in the start going, I will feel myself. My money I'm finished, but I'm moving from yourself.
So I hit the club. People were dancing, but I choose to say myself because I went there for something. Then I saw they find get what king, I won't go ask it. I say let me try my luck and see. Maybe she agree. And I cry I come to see someone who I let them holler. So I talk to myself, let they be your man. But I'm fair, you go be your man. You go be your man.
So I walk out the door, I say fine girl, hello, what you doing? She say fine, what you drinking? She say shinta, I say partner, get what 10. She like wow. Nete thank you.
Baby, don't thank me, you deserve it. Oh, queen, yeah, you deserve it. When you want some more, I provide it. So we start to talk. Come on, so I'm going deep and deeper. Put in thought to each chicken. Be like living sense in her brain. Anything I thought like, baby, let go now. She say, we going to my heart. She say, wait, Panaveo. She say,
She agree from waiting down. We are now. I want operate. Choose I'm gonna blind little door. Me when I get it down. Oh.
When she talking for a jet, I thought I was a joke. When I go back there again, she thought I think I think again. I won't force it. But when I force it, man, that rape that cry, I will go to jail. So I play my cool, I choose to leave it. When I roll, I will chill happy. I will go to PP, I will chill happy. I thought that is a hero.
Take brain and she go on and she call me on my phone. Oh baby, I'm gonna send my mobile money no more. You send me money, I'm gonna call it pepper soup.
I'm gonna send it or I'm gonna send it. I stay there, I won't send it, but I choose to send it. So I thought I said text me the number, I will send it. Then I send it. More she call me, said to say thank you. I said let me call her to confirm it. Then I call, she said she received it. Then she ordered phone for my ear. Jaletta. Then I call her back, she say, how I never back. Minute later she text me again. I'm gonna send her dollar card.
I let it take me a bit. Anyway, I sent her the card again. I did not nothing. I sent it.
We gon' pass again. Me and her then we follow again. I look at her, she look at me. I was passing by her, then she hold my hand. She say, speak to me, me and you not make no palaver. I said, speak that first. She said, play alone. What your story? I say, I get story. She said, let's pray together now. I said, you and who? Believe me, man.
At the end of the day, we stayed sitting together. We had the same conversation. We chilled the same way again. She agreed to follow me. Now again, my crib.
Yeah, so we hit my crib. She said, give me water, let me pay. She came from the bathroom with towel all around her waist. Then she lay down on the bed. I'm gonna lay down too. And I make her move. Friend, she can say, hey man, I ain't Choma say I get go to Pia. We go again. Choma say I really Choma say.
Since she left the crib, I'm call mom pass by. She call me. Oh baby, I begin call me again. I say nothing. Oh, say you going hot to that? I say no, I be busy. Oh. If you say that thing one day you already get it now, so you don't be bad. I didn't know, baby, that not here. I really busy the feed it.
I think the government, they need to explain themselves on some of the concerns that other people may have inside, outside Liberia, so that because the impunity and comfort that far
And so we are back here on this wonderful, wonderful Monday morning, the 29th day in the month of March. What we like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on your location, wherever you find yourselves on this wonderful day. But indeed, you are watching and listening to the KOOL Morning Ride of KOOL 91.9 for the city of Pinsville. I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome as usual. Promises to be great, stimulating, thought provocative. As we walk the walk and talk the talk and have to shift the paradigm of our democracy without fear, without favor, undiluted truth, as usual, will be told on this platform called This Is the Nation's Independent Broadcasting Network. And I'm Weekie Brooks on this day. Up on the 10 o'clock this morning, you will be served provided with breakfast on this wonderful day. So ask somebody to join the conversation, watch, and leave your comment on our KOOL Online 2 page, and we will certainly read it out for you. And later, we'll have the lines open. You will participate into the program. But welcome. This is your breakfast info companion program, The Morning Ride. And it's only heard on KOOL 91.9. And you can watch on KOOL Online 2 as well. We say thank you so much for joining us this wonderful day. Good morning to our motorcyclists. Good morning to our commercial drivers and passengers, our students on their way to the various campuses, business people as well, keke riders and other passengers. You know, we say good morning to you. Those already in the offices, making sure you can make your contribution to Liberia. This is a country we all cherish and love. So keep the love for our country high, and let's speak truth to power respectfully. Good morning. Welcome, folks.
From the heart of Pinsville, this is KOOL 91.9 FM.
One time. Yeah. All my people, one time.
I'm only not different, not at all, you be no.
Mama see bless. Mama see bless.
Chaos Beats.
Everybody die, but not everybody live. Everybody have just one life to live. Please do your do and don't come my way. But I said miss my Hennessy with Hennessy, I want not anything. Let go, but I must enjoy. I got to enjoy. I tell you, but I must enjoy. I got to enjoy. To look for money, said I'm smarting. I want the money, I want smarting. One life to live, it on me. I'm a blessing, God and looking like the fashion. Forget my matter and carry on.
You have always been with us in the last 5 years, and that's why we are here. And we certainly will not disappoint you. So we say thank you so much this morning, you know. And we're back here this wonderful, wonderful day to talk all of the issues that are confronting Liberia. You know, there are a lot of things unfolding in our country, and a lot of people, you know, you hear everybody giving an account, you know. Sometimes now the Liberia Council of Churches has asked the government of Liberia to speak to the fight of the allegation leveled against this government. This government been trying to fight corruption, but there are allegations outside of it. This is not allegation coming from a political institution. And some officials of government have even come out to say that government should engage. The U.S. Congressman Chris Smith of New Jersey, who said from the day one of the inception of President George Weah government, it's been corrupt and have kept the people in abject poverty and amassed unexplained wealth for themselves. And the Liberia Council of Churches said this is a grave allegation that government should not just say, because usually when the U.S. government speaks, at times our government take action. The Liberian government take action. We followed the entire process about the passport saga after Andrew Warple was declared a free man, not guilty verdict was brought on him by criminal court. See, the United States government had her own part and had a destination on him. That his family, he along with his family, they were not welcome in the United States of America because according to them, he was involved in the huge corruption and they sold a Liberian passport to foreign nationals. For that reason, he could not go to the United States along with his family. Immediately after that, the government of Liberia reopened the case, started to invite others, and Andrew went into hiding. Today, nobody talks about that. Just a couple of months ago, the United States government told the world and froze the asset of one of our astute lawyers of this country, Honorable Vanny Sherman, for being corrupt. And today, he asked the government of Liberia to engage the United States. He asked a colleague, somebody else said he should do that in private. Minister Eugene Vacon, a year and a half ago, told Liberians and the world that, look, this country is not for America, Liberia, or Congo country. And the United States Department Embassy near Monrovia issued a press release that was divisive and it could undermine the peace. Immediately, the government of Liberia suspended him. President Weah suspended him for time indefinite and were later reinstated. You know, when the United States issues statement or speak, we see our government taking action. But this is something that the United States Congress made. This is coming from an individual, but highly respected, a Republican who have said to this government, the Weah-led government, that from day one, you are corrupt. In the wisdom of the District 8 Representative Moses Ascaragre, Honorable Gray have said, the government needs to engage this congressman. And this should not just be laid to rest. The Liberia Council of Churches Bishop Cotto Brown, you listen to him, he said, this is something, because this could keep international partners from doing business. This could keep investors coming to our country. Are we concerned about that as a government, as a people, institution? Would this just be something to, oh, y'all leave it, man? Let us leave it, because most of the time when the United States speak, we see our government move. And we got too many officials of government who are not on the good footing or on the good book with the United States. A lot of them cannot go to the United States today. Everybody got his or her problem or cases there in the United States. And it's seriously affecting the government. And this is Liberia's most outstanding partner. We saw USA who shut down a lot of projects in our country. But this is now where we find ourselves. Honorable Chris Smith has said our government is corrupt. A government that is loved by the people. The people are saying the president having his tour, lighting up cities, road connectivity, free education, but yet people who sit on the outside, people who watch and see how things come to Liberia and go outside of Liberia have said, with all of what taking place, with all of the good things, all of the things the president is doing to lift people out of poverty, having the roads fixed, having free tuition, creating jobs, in the midst of all of different efforts to make sure Liberia develop and people have jobs, Liberians being told that United States, your government is corrupt. President Weah. And be mindful, these are people who sit and watch things happen. These are people who look and know exactly what's unfolding. There are a lot of projects. So when they speak, will the government muster courage? Because at this time, if this were coming, a lot of pundits have said, if this were a statement coming from a political leader in one of the political parties in this country, you have had a lot of reactions. There have been a lot of statements. Eugene Fagon was spoken at this time. Others who have taken, what they have gotten instruction from the government to make clarity on this, fingers will be pointed. Today, if this were coming just from the media, people who are branded journalists or media institutions as opposition, but this, and those who all will come in to defend, how can we engage? Because this is an allegation on the entire country that will scare away investors from coming. How are we engaging this man to prove such allegation to look at a government that is seriously working, helping to put food on the table of the people, having people employed, and all of these things, but to say, oh yeah, the people corrupt. How can we tell the world and our international partners, I know this government is not corrupt. This is a government that is making all of the efforts to develop this country. The Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission will be, you know, there are a lot of things coming back are put into place in fighting corruption, but yet and stay, this is coming from where we sit and just watch it and say, no, then this is a perception already been carried by the people that this government is corrupt. And most of the time, you know, to what extent we respect statements from the United States government or individual residing in America, we all say, oh yeah, this is true. So the government of Liberia now have been taken to the court of public opinion that she's corrupt. If this were coming from the Liberty Party, we have held a lot of press conferences. The Unity Party will say, yeah, 12 years you were corrupt. What did you do? You squander a lot of opportunities according to the former vice president, and you give all of these things, local money, and all of these things. But everybody, we are not hearing the voice of Mama Sikaba. We are not hearing the voice of Jefferson Koji. We are not hearing the voice of Honorable Mobile Molu, who also stated that the president is corrupt. So how can the government of Liberia clear her name? Why they are not, you know, every time the United States government speak, they remain tightly. Ahead of the festive season in December, the United States government, through an embassy in Monrovia, issue to those coming to Liberia that you need to take your own money because no money in the country. And the government of Liberia did not even say a word. They did not even publish or issue a press release though, that look, we understand our challenges with the commercial banks, we're low on cash, but we are doing everything. They sat and allowed that statement to take full effect. And we saw people coming. The United States government in last year issued a statement asking her citizens, those who come into Liberia, to reconsider, because there was a lot of insecurity in this country. The country, you know, police could not respond immediately to crimes. And we allowed that to just pass. We have not had recruitment over the period of time. There are a lot of things have been unfolded. Chris Smith, a U.S. congressman, highly respected. He's a representative of New Jersey at the United States Congress. He accused President George of running a government that is milking the coverts of the country to the ground. A lot of concerns were raised when the president got into power in 3 to 6 months and started to build some housing unit on the Ralph Highway there, you know, the Jamaica Resort and other places. Broke his non-street home down, rebuilt, and people have seen officials of government buying properties in Liberia asking themselves. Our legislators have complained that no district funds, accounting development fund any longer right now. Everything's about the presidential project, presidential transformer, and all of these things coming up, and people are seeing these things, and this is something now. What can the government do to clear her name? Will they just sit every time and listen to when something comes out of America and just remain silent, but when politician on the ground speaks, that's when you know that the government has purple defender, as they usually call themselves. What can we tell the world that this government is not corrupt? Can this man prove that this government is corrupt? Or we just going to leave here business as usual, so tomorrow when others are talking and say, oh no, the people that are opposition, all of what the man doing, they still just hit the man, they don't want to see anything. What can government do? The Ministry of Information is there. Is the Minister of Information only there to be abusive? The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, how are we engaging Honorable Chris Smith to tell the world? How corrupt is this government? What are some of the evidences? Can you produce? What can we do? Are we more concerned about suspending people who only say, yeah, you consistently insult the president, so you should be suspended? I wouldn't to when politicians on ground or political institutions talk, because you follow the president, his tour he having, he throwing jabs at people. He asked people in Bombing County. He said, I wonder whether you got lawmaker, Fanny Sherman, other people in Grand Cape and other places at President Salih. But he's not concerned about clearing his name. He's not concerned about the statement that scared investors from coming to the country. Our health system in the country is in a deplorable condition. Nurses and doctors and support staff are on strike on a regular basis. We now get this statement. So Bishop Cotto Brown of the Liberal Council of Churches has spoken as well. Honorable Moses Gray have told the government there's a need to engage, because this is not the first time this man have made statement on individual or this government. So there's a need. If you just keep silent, who takes the money to bring it to Liberia and say, look, I'm going to invest? The tourism sector will be open, where huge revenue will be generated for government. Who brings in the money? Who brings in the family and other things? This is Bishop Brown.
What the government suggests is that there are other people who are watching us, and we need to be cognizant of that. The world has become a global village. It's like that everyone needs to listen. We need to ensure that we are doing the best we can in terms of promoting good governance, in terms of promoting the rule of law, in terms of fighting corruption, in terms of promoting an inclusive society. It's important. There's something they call friendly fire. Before you know it, you already, you're affected. We need to improve on the governance. There are other people who support what we do in the country, and they want their voices heard too, and that they are listening, they are watching, and we should ensure that we are also engaged. I think the government, they need to explain themselves on some of the concerns that other people may have inside, outside Liberia, so that, because we want to ensure that we are moving ahead with all our partners on board. What we can say is that we have to realize a country that the rest of the world is watching us. One of the real signals that is bothering this country now is the negative reporting. We should not take for granted that Mr. Wade is just making noise. Sometimes when people are making noise, people listening. Sometimes the noise that they are making. You go out of the noise, you will learn something. Not just dismiss what they are doing. Congressman Smith and the report.
Yes, you hear Bishop Cotto Brown there talking that this should not just be taken lightly, and the government needs to come up and repair the damage probably that has already been done to this government. It's a look. Remember, this is a man, a ranking member on the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, and a ranking member on the Subcommittee on Global Human Rights. His allegations should not just be taken lightly and swept in the doors by, because if this were coming from a Liberian or a talk show host just sitting in the country here, this would be a different issue. Today, you have heard a lot of press conferences. Minister, assistant minister, director, ordinary partisans of the CDC who have been speaking. And he said, this is not something that we should just say, oh yeah, let's just leave it. This is the most powerful nation on earth when they speak. And he's not just an ordinary man walking. This is a congressman. How are we engaging ourselves in addressing this matter and to tell the world, no, we are not corrupt as the government? With all of the effort we see what the president is doing, with some of the developmental agenda he has on his agenda, what he's doing. Currently having a nationwide tour, lighting up, breaking grounds for hospitals, schools, and other, and yet instead with all what he's doing, for Liberians to be told that from the first day up to this time, this man is corrupt. His regime. We will have our government responsibly responding to this issue, engaging Honorable Smith to say, look, can you point to a particular incident or issues that show that we actually corrupt, or government will have to leave it? So this is another report on Liberia. But Honorable Gray, who also is staunch and ranking member of the CDC government, also asked that there's a need to have engagement, because he's the first government official to respond to this.
The U.S. Congress, Chris Smith, is entitled to this opinion. As a congressman from Liberia, I'm very convinced that statement is an over-exaggeration on his part. He's operating under the basis of perception, and those perceptions will have to be dismissed by the Liberian government by holding a frank and fair conversation with him. Because I remember vividly the Jefferson Poggi scenario where there were allegations leveled against him just by a write-up by former TRC boss, Gordon, that Jeff has a history of crisis in Liberia. We have to make that correction and refute that. This government has worked with the United States government and resolved corrupt allegations of abuse of funding or corrupt issues. The issue of the passport saga, the United States Intelligence Agency worked with the Liberian government for over a year on the passport issue to ensure that our passport are not in the hands of criminals. And the Kimbo family and the passport director was a victim of the allegation by the report. Also on the issue of the 16 billion Liberian dollars and 25 million United States dollars, the Liberian government sought the American government intervention into that. We have nothing to hide, and investigations were being made, the facts were being presented publicly, the findings were being published. This government has enjoyed a very good relationship with the United States government. That's why the government of America has consistently supported this administration consistently. So the opinion of the congressman, in my view, is a bigger perception issue, and that perception issue has to be addressed. And this government has a responsibility to directly deal with the congressman in question so that some of those perception issues can be resolved. The statement coming from Congressman Smith has not been a strange statement. Even before Amazo William was elected as president, he made a damning and demeaning statement about what the government would be. So there have been an established perception, even prior to the election of this administration. Congressman Smith, the Liberian government responded initially to some of the comments. We have a responsibility to dismiss the perception by ensuring that we deal with the necessary points for a sitting government to be sanctioned from the head of state down to not less than 28%. It's not as ordinary as anybody would think that would be.
Sure, indeed. That's the voice of the tough thug and fireburn Moses Akari, Honorable Gray of District Number 8 in Montserrat County, and a staunch member of the CDC. He's there talking about the allegation leveled against his government. And he said, this is not the first time. So what picture is the congressman trying to paint on Liberia? Is he somebody who just against President Weah? You listen to Honorable Gray saying that before the government maybe came to power, this man made a statement how the government was going to function. But he said it's a bigger picture that government needs to deal with. Is this coming from the eye of the opposition in the making, that making sure that, this the making of some Liberians sue against the government, some political actors sue against this government, and could be feeding the U.S. congressman with false information that he could just sit and because this is a man who on Foreign Affairs Committee. There are a lot of U.S. NGOs in this country. There are a lot of people, carrying out consultancy to ministry and agency for the United States. User funded projects, other things, they could be making a report. Transparency International, human rights reports, all of these things. Liberia reports have not been so good. You saw the Afrobarometer report that was just done in a couple months. where Liberians pointed a huge level of corruption at the level of the presidency, the national legislature, and that of the police. And now you have heard it coming from a U.S. congressman who also been watching Liberia closely. And this is not just the first time making statement. What do you think this man has against Liberia or against this identical government? We want to put out a negative information about our country. How can government, will you think government can engage? Do you think this government will engage this man or engage the U.S. Foreign Department and say, look, we need to talk about this thing and we need this report published to the world? Because this is something that is already out. You got people in Liberia who calling the government is a corrupt government, and you find somebody also in Liberia calling Liberia a corrupt government as well. People have questioned all in terms of integrity, in terms of transparency and accountability. We're still discussing today. We cannot properly put the 25 million on the table to give a clear understanding how the money was mapped up and infused into our economy. It's just about talking about. We had issue of people getting to the street talking about 16 billion that they claim got missing in thin air. We are now printing money after months. After every month, we print money because we need to pay civil servant, we need to pay this person, we need to pay that person. But this is a serious issue. Is it just doing a makeup? Why we are struggling wanting to have investors? Because we listen to Michael McCarthy, the U.S. ambassador to Liberia, who told government as well that she needs to fight corruption. She needs to have investors on ground that will encourage other investors. She needs to open her tourism sector. She needs to do this. She needs to do that. And everybody been talking about this issue. Come and see how best we can have. He said, create a conducive environment where investors can come and have security. When officials of government are buying homes in various communities without declaring the asset and all of these things, and Liberians are probably going with the wrong perception that these people are corrupt, but nobody wanting to change it, nobody wanting to stay. People talk about it, the fight, and coming from the party's chairman, telling that the president is corrupt when money comes to the country. He requests for his fair share. And now a U.S. Congress. So who's telling the truth? Who's telling the lie? Is it the statement from Chairman Mulu that President Weah is corrupt? It's now is something seen and coming from a U.S. congressman? Is this the making of the opposition bloc, wanting to make sure that this government will not succeed? What personal grudge this U.S. congressman carried against this government or President Weah or somebody in the government that he will make such a statement to the world? Folks, wherever you are, welcome. This is the Morning Raw. Let me go to read some of the comments. You leave it on our KOOL Online 2 page. This one comes from Gabriel Sehar, watching for New Crew Time. And Victor Tilo Williams is live from Buchanan Loop. And Moses T-Ball, Flomo Jr. Good morning, Mr. Brooks. And I'm closely following you live from Copper 5 Area Rehab Community. Thanks for always providing a platform to the ship, the pattern of our democracy with fear, no favor. Thank you so much. Emmanuel Palacio, Wopa Jerry, say good morning, Mr. Brooks. Johnson Saturday Freeman, as usual, say good morning, Mr. Brooks and Mr. Bob. My name is Johnson Freeman, and I'm following the show from We Are Live this morning, my Gibby County. Follow Buema say good, and Ruben Sawu say Pastor Ruben following from Johnsonville. Beatrice Saul said good morning. And Fire Alex Newman said good morning, Mr. Brooks. And I'm F. Alexander Newman following you from Kakatak City, Magibi County. And Samuel Calon said good morning, Wiki Brooks. My name is Samuel Calon, watching live from Pipeline District 3. And J. Savior Goodness said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. I'm J. Savior Goodness, my name. Watching your life from Ratlight. Thanks again for the topic on the discussion this morning. Have a God bless day. Thank you so much. Alexander Key said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. And I'm watching for Soul Clinic, Diamond Creek Pins, the City Mozzarella. Come to thank for a lot for the program. And Vamuyan Yen said, good morning, Brooks. My name is Vamuyan Yen, and I join you for rehab. Lawson Augustine Takasha Wisdom said, good morning. My name is Lawson Augustine Sagasha Wisdom, joining this fascinating conversation in Caldwell. Melvin Mobolu said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. My name is Melvin Mobolu, and I'm watching you from Matinga's Village resident. Thanks for the show. And Murray Super Mario M. Kamara said, good morning, Weekie Bros. To Liberia, I am following live from Painesville is a community around the Public School. Thanks for the program. And Jefferson L. Peters, senior said, my name is Jefferson L. Peters, watching you from Kakata, Magibi County. Darlington Quanum said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. My name is Darlington Quanum, following you from Peace Island Community 540. Thank you so much. Jefferson L. Peters said, America, Uncle Sam will fight our battle. We are almost there. For Jefferson L. Peter, he writes. Star Kid said, good morning, Information Brooks. My name is Stevie F. Colby, and I'm watching live from Moses Black Soul Clinic. Thank you for the topic under discussion this morning. And this one come up. And this one from Momo Taylor Jr. said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. I'm Momo Taylor Jr., and I'm watching live on District 6. Thanks for the program. Mobile Bassinin Lip said, good morning, watching from LPRC Community, Gatmansville. Cephas Mikey said, good morning, Brooks. I'm watching from Painesville. And Lord Newer said, good morning, Weekie. Many thanks for the topic. I'd appreciate KOOL. And Friday Yanti said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. I'm Friday Yanti, watching you from Soul Clinic. And New Balance Johnson said, good morning, Mr. Brooks. And I'm Rudolph Johnson, watching live from Zuba Time. Thank you so much. And Restoration saying, good morning, she says, sir, Weekie Brooklyn Bro, and good morning to your hard-working backroom staff. Thanks so kindly for your tireless effort in bringing contemporary information to our doorsteps. And I'm T. Gerald Titan on Restoration the same. Thank you so much to all of the folks this wonderful day. And this is the KOOL Morning Ride. Thank you so much for joining the conversation on this wonderful day. But this is where we are this morning, discussing critical national issue and how can we clear our name, because we've been accused as a corrupt government from the very first day. And Liberians themselves are also pointed finger. It's a personal conclusion by Congressman Smith just to see this real government that is making all of the effort with all of the rules and all of these things, financing enough package for Liberians, helping the disabled, doing all of these things. Is this the making of all the opposition black to want to paint this? And the Liberal Council of Churches now saying this, that this should not be overlooked. It should be something that the government needs to address. Do you think the government of Liberia will properly address this thing, or this will be business as usual once the U.S. speaks? Once the U.S. government speaks, we will remain silent. Why are we not having people speaking to this issue? Eugene Fagon, Mobile Molu, Jefferson Koji, Mama Sikaba. You know, having wizard the likes of the folks who usually will come and respond. What is the response team doing? Yesterday, you was telling Ellen that her government was corrupt. You inherited a broken economy, the covers were empty, but now the U.S. Congress is saying you are corrupt. How can you explain and address it? Where is Honorable Eugene Fagon? Where is he? Ledger Renin, what are you people not talking? How are you engaging? Stop talking, lawmakers. Honorable Yeka Kolba said the government is corrupt, President Weah is corrupt. Now we're hearing it from another congressman now. How can we engage in as a nation? So Bishop Brown is now calling
comment suggests is that there are other people who are watching us, and we need to be cognizant of that. The world has become a global village. It's like that everyone needs to listen. We need to ensure that we are doing the best we can in terms of promoting good governance, in terms of promoting the rule of law, in terms of fighting corruption, in terms of promoting an inclusive society. It's important. There's something they call friendly fire. Before you know it, you already, you're affected. We need to improve on the governance.
We need to improve on the governance. That's a calling to Bishop Carter Brown. And he said President Ware is responsible for the high rate of poverty in the country by using his political power to appropriate wealth of the country through misappropriating government funds to the personal gain and it affecting their lives. Is this his personal opinion? Can he prove it? Will government fight to clear her name, but she'll just leave it because it's somebody who speaks from the United States? We have had a lot of press conferences, and these were just coming from a political party in this country. Folks, we leave that with you to speak to the fight this morning on this wonderful Omaska Jai say good morning, Mr. Brooks, and I'm Omaska watching you from GSA Roads in our community. Thank you so much, and let's now go to the phone lines and talk to our callers this morning. To our very first caller on the line, you're live.
Good morning, Wiki Bros.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you make a point.
My name is Melvin Momodu, calling from Martinez Village. Would you think for a topic on honor the question? Wiki, you know, we've been saying this, I always make my statement here because it was looking to other tomorrow. Wiki, I don't think the Congress bank has any major thing against the government. You know, the bank has work to do. And his work there to restore most of the countries. We get that other few country names that were mentioned there before the guy the people came and they went to work it. But we get a comment that just on serious. We get the same statement that they're coming from the here, and so the one the biggest and largest project in the tell you that you corrupt. People can do all that bad investigation, people can come up with any other thing. I don't think someone from Operation that will just go and form over and say, oh yeah, this is government corrupt. And then you just go directly on air and mention the name of that person that government corrupt. You will do everything possible to monitor and do all about it.
But what is keeping government so silent on this issue of speaking? Because Liberia are asking if they were coming from a political party. By this time, we have a lot of press conferences, right? What government is tightly on this matter?
We hear where there's smoke, there's fire. We hear that the government know that they are very, very corrupt. But the guys, you know, even when you're coming for the guys, 30 people, like you make sure more, and the guys of people,
Thank you so much. Let's talk to other callers you like.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Good morning, sir.
And let me say good morning to the Chief Judge for Account. My name is Lawson at Government Sagaz Winston, and I call from the state. Let me say, high from people of partnership marriage. You know, there are so many people just for those who also need to say that, oh, we are giving the government to the government. And now they talk, this job and already support. If you don't go back and say this, people say, oh, we are giving the government, we are giving the government. This government is corrupt. This government has no integrity. This government has no unity.
What evidence can you prove? What people show that government is actually corrupt, or people want to buy into this because it's a U.S. congressman?
No, my brother, and it's not evidence. But the thing last over 9 years. But the thing why they conjunction. Look at that building. They moving up that the government or got into power. They decide what to build that you know that house on it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's talk to other callers. Let's hear. We're in your comment. You like? Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning. This is Noah Dawudi.
You're welcome, Chief. Let's hear you.
And I'm phoning on YouTube with Jabatan District number 2. Before I make my point, I want to express my disappointment this morning. Openly for the audience, more especially those of us who claim that we love to attend just on the list, not on the high. And my statement is content in a wake of the couple of announcements that I made on this radio station, which is then WEEKIE. Our meeting will come Saturday. One of you did not turn out. So I think for me, these people, they are not comparing us to do it. We came out with this and besides, they are only.
No, we'll talk about that later. Just go to the point now. Just leave that.
Now, let me say this to you. With respect to the statement coming from the U.S. Congressman, which is not that because the U.S. Congressman is saying this, so this is the reason why we are not saying it. The U.S. Congressman is not saying anything new. He just validating what we are saying or what we have been saying concerning the memorial. The only reason why people are taking it more serious because it is coming from a senior ranking member of the #1 government in the world, and also there is a man who is getting U.S. foreign service at the level of the Congress. And this is coming from one of the major human rights committee members in the world, that is the Magnitsky Human Rights Global Account Act. This was named in honor of the Russian advocate Magnitsky. So, in fact, the next more needs to be done. There is a there, more needs to be done. So, the government will not respond because they don't have what it takes to respond. These are government, there's a government that have got points of noise makeup.
So the U.S. Congressman has validated your statement that this government is corrupt?
Yes, they have validated because very conclusive. You were here, you just quoted Mother Maru. Mother Maru is on record for telling you that whenever the president goes out of the country and brings his money, he will tell the prime minister, collect the money in my account. I will advocate them for it.
Thank you so much for being on the line. Let's talk to other callers. You're live.
Good morning, WEEKIE.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to our fellow people of Liberia. This is the fourth of the joint for district number 6.
You're welcome.
We really commend you for this part of the topic this morning. You see, WEEKIE, when you attempt the research about the guy who bring the information, 3 chapter term, he brought record information in chapter term and in the past. When you check it out, my editor, he also brought information and he also came to pass. So today is in Pastor time. And people that I can't create, they want to defend it. After today, yesterday, what was wrong? Today I can't go and look at the cooking today. And mind you, if we're not careful, this money is that we call that Europe. You'll be serious price for all. You'll be serious price for all. So then the government goes, and call upon this man or a check on it, so they can, set ourselves free for this. The information are coming in. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's talk to other callers. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, my people, and then say good morning to the people of the council. I'm not saying Joseph, we join you from this number 5, Consular Council. Sometimes when we're making statements, we gotta be very, very more careful. Somebody coming up accusing our president, that person is nowhere, he's from right here, and one of the key members of this government, the party chairman is shot. Nobody is down.
You think they actually shot themselves in their own leg before being pointed the weapon for us, our forces?
Yes. And the party chairman can be boom, and you see, this press conference is a video talk. It's not like the way you are talking to people. Each time you go on a video talk, you understand that all of people understand hearing you. They may have a good press conference that other international journalists were around there. BBC was there, Fan Radio, all people were there. If we say openly that the president can go out also, when he comes, that money can be done. All it is account for his personal use. So tell me, why do you expect other people? The U.S. government is saying that the U.S. will not be respected because of what? We have lost our value. That means that no human rights in our country.
And this is the man who is serving his 21st term as a lawmaker in America, a congressman. And he's 68 years old. He been around long.
No, my brother, you see, I monitor one of their top talking representatives at current your hospital when they try to ask him, try to work for him, try to project thing, all that. Look, not who are looking. We need someone who has prayed for this good station. Anywhere the station that you will suffer, even political green will buy it. We'll buy political green and we'll buy it.
Yes, he's Christopher Henry Smith. Thank you so much. Let's talk to other callers. Your life.
Good morning, Wiki.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, Wiki. I'm Irola Akana Kupo. And Wiki, thank you for the platform this morning. Wiki, we shouldn't take issues coming from high-ranking people in the world to be a free one. Wiki, you don't need rocket scientists to tell you that this government is corrupt. Corruption does not come about investment of funds. Corruption is open, is relative. And we give the fight of the matter that the Chairman Maru, can come out and say that this president go and love it and have it placed in a personal account is corruption. We give the fight of the matter that people will be lying in cold blood and the president come out to say they were having an affair in a vehicle. We give is corruption. We give the fight of the matter that you find journalists being brutalized and then a freedom of speech, that's corruption. We need a fight of the matter that people that country cannot afford. Eating in this country is an achievement, it is a corruption. So you don't need rocket scientists to tell you. Government should much more require that they must work in line with what the Congressman said. And in as much they do that, I think it will benefit the Liberian people for sanctions to not come on this country. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you so much for your point this morning. Let's talk to other callers you like.
Good morning, Wiki.
Good morning.
My name is Daniel.
You're welcome, Chief.
Wiki, that's why I thank you for what you do. People don't know. They don't know is this strongest man. This man is one of the men that put pressure on Chancellor today in Yamba. But people don't follow the history. And they see the man talking, my brother, you know, rocket scientists to say that corruption is full of robbers and gold in Nigeria. How can a leader will just take over and let the city money start getting new games all over, break the old games now? People lost it. People are abused. Shutting down internet. UCT has their own students. Women and studying. Somebody you take time to get at them. And one man quite said your power say you're going to want a few different folks to protect the government because I want the government to power. Then another government town, our ready official, quite said, Pocket Park Brigade, why in high own brigade, the move on and black people. Let's see so they kind of way they thought as a government official. Now I don't want to start using my God. He's the chief of staff of Nigeria. Now, see the overlooking, that's the platform. If the leaders are coming for them, at the time of the dollar, even at that day, men are talking. They give on the list. A leader, and this is a factor. When you are making an answer, what happened there? And he did that. And so, that is the overlooking. Some people will say, blind the country, then the time will not get away.
Thank you for joining from Total County this morning. Your life.
Good morning, Wiki.
You're welcome.
My name is Steve Lawrence, or the Big Home Depot. And I want to thank you for the show this morning. We don't need a military man to tell you what is going on in the The Congress man just feels like so. Don't need any kind of power that's saying that you take the it is just that our project will be say bond loyalty to the situation. But it is very serious, and I think the government needs to step out their duty. It's not something that people need to be going on, phone calls, or need to say something that cannot be finished. But very serious, but we need to be serious from there. Thank you for the show.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Good morning.
Good morning, Wiki.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. This is Amen Sharif, and I call from Kingston.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for flagging this issue. Time before numbers, we have said that the government was proceeding wrongly, and there was need that have a check and correct what was being done wrongly. But people are seeing it as an opposition. Even those are
might not be opposition are seeing the wrong of this government that try to correct the wrong are being seen as opposition. And then you are saying, other colors have already said, you know, for a congressman to come up to validate the clean name of people, if as Honorable Gray is saying that this fellow has government, something against this government. So are we saying that he also has something against Buhari? He also has something against Buhari and he said in Nigeria there is political corruption in Nigeria, where people are using their power to marginalize other people. These are political corruption. People are using kleptocracy. It has to do with using power to amount wealth at the expense of the less fortunate people. Are we not seeing the suffering of these people, the people in this country? Do we need somebody to come and say, oh, that people are suffering? Well, the people can work, they can get their salary on time. How many times have someone now said to say someone that they will take pay on the 20th of every month? What is today's date? The 29th. Someone have not taken pay. You see people are mentioning wealth at the twinkle of an eye. And then we say now people try to pretend. Liberia is for us. President Weah is our president. No matter of our association, whether we have division or not. Chairman Moru validated the statement that indeed the president is involved in corruption. That is glaring. And today's Liberia is not substance Liberia, where it used to take time for people to gather information. By the time something is unfolding, and then people have access to it already because we have the social media. And if they are thinking closer to the president and he's the best president ever in Liberia, and these things are coming up, and they are looking at it, we need to do something for our country.
Thank you so much for making your contribution this morning on the morning ride. This is Chairman Molu back in the days talking about this thing.
He programs Manero. Il a what we used to do for him. Or he doesn't find us at who we do like animals. So he doesn't, he ain't gonna go again. And then program again the demonstrate he found a one place to him, he won't be past president. He won't be past president. Where was the president? Well, you know, that's the best song that you know that's it, we can go on for always there. The president, I mean, we're going to make you think that he's the most negative president out there. The studio, we're not seeing that the most significant person right now, the most significant person is what? 12, second man. The most significant every guy told the Asia that when you are the law says you can't set your enthusiasm, the change that being planted. But how often will you defend something you roll out options? Yeah. I'm not defending.
Okay, folks. All right. Let's take a few more cards and we call it a day on this segment. Your life.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. My name is M. Patrick, where I want to call from Dubo. Okay, I think the conference may not speak of here, right? There is something that he has heard or seen that is happening in Liberia before coming up with the pronouncement. And I think it's quite a place on the executive branch of government. But to see an individual from the lower house trying to report on the bone him, that is quite unfortunate. The issue of corruption in our country, you don't need rocket scientists to tell you that there is corruption here, right? You see these things written on the wall clearly. The issue about the 25 billion workers every time is just one. The issue about $4 billion Nigerian dollars being printed, it cannot be seen on the Liberian market, is another thing. And the issue of the debt in this country are all things that, are written down the wall. It's a theory that this government is somehow tyrannical and corrupt. So you don't need rocket science to tell you that these people are corrupt. So the government is right. And I think Liberians get a clue from his statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Two more cards on the line. Your life.
Good morning, Weekie.
Good morning, sir.
All right. With the issue on the discussion this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as we always tell people, Liberia is a very good country for all of us to live in. But it also depends on the kind of people that we have leading us. This country today, we don't have to suffer for road. How big is this country? For the 3,000 square miles, sorry. How big is Liberia for this country to be connected with roads? You just imagine, if you listen, you travel out there, you will know that road construction is no longer a priority for other people. The only thing that they are thinking about is how to put man on the moon or how to put man on planet Mars. But today we are still struggling. Even this place that we call a capital city, it is filled with dirt all over because that's the way we think. That is on our mind. That is the way we think. That's how you see our environment. Corruption is one of those. Will they deny this statement that this congressman have said, this representative have said? It is clear. They have all of the people here, represented here, the ambassadors are here. They are observing. They know exactly. In fact, these guys know what is happening more than you and myself. They can see things that are happening here that we don't know about and they know about it.
Yeah, this is a veteran congressman. He's serving his 21st term as a U.S. congressman.
Yes, you see, exactly, and we things that they see that we don't know, that they know about it. So I'm just sorry, corruption is all written on walls, on wheelbarrows, in market areas. Government is responsible. We should have the whole government responsible for this level of corruption in this administration. Government are responsible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Finally to the scholar of your life.
Good morning, Weekie.
Good morning, sir. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you. And this is the voice of Thomas Sakara Johnson. And I'll speak to you for things this morning. We thank you for the topic on our discussion, and most especially as it relates to our international and diplomatic partners. And we need, like you rightly said, right? When you have a proactive government that is in the interest of its people, when these kind of allegations are melted against the relevant authority as to how it can be resolved amicably. And the statement for this congressman, we need to follow this congressman all the time. It is not only President George Weah that this man continues to speak on the issue of corruption. And this is where many of our citizens better are not understanding and they feel that this is a waste of. Even with the issue of Aliwa, the former prosecutor is already that prosecutor president.